What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for a Monday Night Raw review for Monday, May the 4th, 2020. May the 4th be with you if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a WWE fan, or a wrestling fan in general who is backed off of wrestling because of these empty arena shows. I don't blame you. They're not getting any better, folks. This, of course, was the go-home show for Monday Night Raw going into Money in the Bank, where 6 men and 6 women will battle it out at the same time for 2 Money in the Bank briefcases, one for the men's and one for the women's. Of course, after what happened last week, Apollo Crews was taken out of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match because of a kayfabe injury. Apparently, that is going to lead to him turning heel, which was supposed to be the plan when he was tagging with Chad Gable against Sheamus on SmackDown, but of course, plans changed over time. And now he's on Monday Night Raw, so they're going to do his heel turn. Who he's going to turn heel on, I have no idea. Is anybody going to care? No. Having major heel turns or any type of heel turn or face turn right now when there's no crowd whatsoever to react is really not a good idea. Because you need that reaction to see if anyone's going to actually care for Apollo Crews when he turns heel, which apparently, obviously, I don't think anyone's going to give a shit. But they're going to do the heel turn nonetheless. So who is going to replace him tonight? We had ourselves a gauntlet match. Because Vince McMahon, since, 2018, they've done gauntlet matches before the Elimination Chamber. They didn't do one this year, but most of the years they've done a gauntlet match. They did a shit ton of gauntlet matches last year with Kofi Kingston and the New Day. They had a couple later in the year as well. Vince McMahon loves himself a gauntlet match, and I have been to the point where I don't want to see a gauntlet match for years to come. This show just, we had a gauntlet match, and we'll talk about who it was in a minute. They bring up last week's show with the men's Money in the Bank guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's not do that, right? We start the show the same way we started last week, the VIP Lounge. Because MVP is the only guy on Monday Night Raw right now who has a talk show segment, and Vince McMahon loves himself a talk show segment. That's why you saw MITB for so long on SmackDown and Raw. Why you saw the highlight reel. Why you even had the Ambrose Asylum and you had the Cutting Edge and the Peep Show. Vince McMahon loves his talk shows. We don't need fucking talk shows. It was something, it was cool and it was hip and it was good when Jericho did it. It was great when Roddy Piper did it back in the 80s. You didn't see it mostly in the Attitude Era because we didn't need one. But here we are with the VIP Lounge. As he mentioned last week, he had the men's Money in the Bank contestants on there at the time: Apollo Crews, Aleister Black, and Rey Mysterio. It didn't go so well as they ended up having a brawl with Zelina Vega's group that led to a 6-man tag match, and the lounge was destroyed. So he's going to bring it back to class and sophistication by bringing out the women's Money in the Bank participants from Monday Night Raw: Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax. Yeah, because that's going to do any better than what he did last week. So he brings out Asuka, then Shayna Baszler, then Nia Jax. MVP, this was just so dumb because you had Asuka on the right. You had Shayna on the left. On these 2 big-time couches that could fit probably 2 or 3 women. And then you just have Nia Jax sitting sitting like a good little girl in the middle. MVP asks Nia Jax first, "You are dominant. You are fierce. Do you have what it takes to battle from the bottom floor all the way to the roof to get into a ring, climb a ladder, and get that briefcase? Do your skills set you up for that, right?" And she's like, "Have you not been watching Raw? How dominant I have been, dominating all my opponents, destroying everybody, aka injuring people. Deonna Purrazzo probably had a little concussion. Fucking Kairi Sane, we haven't seen her after that second match, which, I'm sorry, it just, that still irks me." So she says that's all she needs and no one's gonna stop her. He goes to Asuka. Asuka speaks in Japanese. I don't have a goddamn clue what she's saying. And then Shayna speaks and says something in Latin and I have no idea what she said. Then she says she has to she'll spit it out for us. And she does her talking with her action, and that's what makes the difference. Isn't that right, Oscar? Oscar's yelling in Japanese, saying poor Kairi, something this, something that. They're screaming. Then they look at each other. They look at Nia Jax. They kick her in the gut. She falls out of the ring. MVP gets in between these two. Oscar's still yelling. He says, let's save it for the fight. End of the segment. This was awful. We didn't need this. We never needed this. Why? Like, what they did last week by having the women supposed to have a triple threat match, which turned into a Pier 6 brawl, and had Nia Jax standing on top, is the same shit that they did this week, only, like, they could have accomplished what they did last week with what they did this week, and that's almost nothing. By the way, if you want to hear that this is the most unique Money in the Bank ladder match and the risk is worth the reward, and you get tired of hearing that, well, too bad, because that is all you heard all fucking night. The risk is worth the reward, and this is the most unique Money in the Bank ladder match you will ever see. Next week, and this was something, after the segment's over, we go to commercial. Next week, Becky Lynch is going to confront the Money in the Bank winner, and she is going to leave her rocked and destroyed or whatever. And it's like, wait a minute. That makes sense if Shayna, Asuka, and Nia Jax wins. What if Dana Brooke, Carmella, or Lacey Evans wins, which I highly doubt they will, but what if they win? The rules stipulate that the winner can only challenge for their champion of their brand. This isn't like past Money in the Banks where if you won the Money in the Bank briefcase, you could challenge for either title. It's you get the Raw Women's title or the SmackDown Women's title. So either they're confirming that Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, or Asuka are winning, or they're doing something else. I don't know. So basically, they have just come out and said, Lacey Evans, this is pretty much WWE saying, Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, and Carmella are only there to fill the 3 spots for SmackDown. None of them have a chance to win this match. None of them. So, we start off our gauntlet match. Who starts off the gauntlet match but Bobby Lashley? Who's his opponent? Mr. Titus Worldwide. That match, this portion of the gauntlet lasts about 30 seconds. Spear, done, over, squashed. Akira Tozawa's out next. He gets a couple kicks, hits a Mitchell drop kick, but a spear in the end, 1, 2, 3. Lashley buries Akira Tozawa, as he has been. By the way, Akira Tozawa is in the Cruiserweight Interim Cruiserweight Championship tournament on NXT, and he's getting destroyed by Bobby Lashley in less than 20 seconds, or less than 60 seconds. Why the fuck should anyone care about about NXT when you're bringing guys up to the main roster and having them squashed like that? John Benjamin's out next. He gets some good offense on Bobby Lashley. Hits a blockbuster. He gets the best of Lashley until Lashley puts him into the barricade twice. Brutalizes Benjamin, sets up, misses a spear, but goes for a second one, hits it, 1, 2, 3, he is out. Then Humberto Carrillo comes out. Humberto Carrillo is the next supposed to be victim. And we go to commercial break, so Humberto Carrillo is going to survive longer than any of the other guys have. Lashley and Humberto Carrillo fight for a minute. Lashley is dominating him. Goes to finish Carrillo, but Carrillo gets out. Top rope drop kick, moonsault, 2 count. Carrillo back up top. Lashley stops him, tosses him, and smashes him in the corner. He is just beating the brakes off of Humberto Carrillo. The referee's trying to get him out of the way, trying to get him out of the corner. Lashley picks the referee up, throws him, takes him and moves him away from Humberto Carrillo and just starts beating on him again. The referee pulls him back and says, listen, you gotta stop. You're getting disqualified. This is it. You're getting disqualified. Goes over to the announcer, to Mike Roman, and says, Lashley is disqualified. He's out of the battle, out of the gauntlet match. So Bobby Lashley, who's been looking dominant the entire time, killing 3 guys before Humberto Carrillo, lets his anger get the best of him and gets disqualified. They made Bobby Lashley look like an absolute geek, like an idiot, like a loser. And someone tell me why we should take Bobby Lashley seriously if this is how it's going to go. He gets beat because he doesn't get beat in the ring. I guess it's a way to protect him, but he also looks like an idiot in the end. Then before he leaves the ring, he goes over, stomps on Humberto Carrillo some more, and then he kills him with a spear and leaves him for dead to Angel Garza. Now, the next two bouts or three bouts gets kind of like, this one divides a lot of people. People are saying this buried, what happened next buried everyone that went up against Humberto Carrillo, who Humberto Carrillo wins against, which I don't see that way. Now, if Humberto Carrillo, who is the guy who just got killed by Bobby Lashley, gets to go up against Angel Garza, his cousin, and beats him immediately, rolls him up 1, 2, 3, and he's on to the next one, yes, Angel Garza's buried. Angel Garza is done, dead, out of here. Not this way, no. Angel Garza goes in here. He is, like Humberto Carrillo, is a babyface, and Angel Garza is a heel. It's Wrestling 101, people. Humberto Carrillo is down. He is injured. He shouldn't be able to beat this guy. Angel Garza should have to be able to come in and just pick the bones, win this match, move on to face the next guy, and move on from there. But this is Humberto Carrillo, who they want to show that he's got heart and determination because he wants to go to Money in the Bank. He wants that opportunity because this is once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of guys. There are a lot of guys who want the Money in the Bank one time and never went back. So he wants that opportunity to go and change his career. So he is fighting to stay alive, and while the match is going on, Humberto and Angel Garza continues to get frustrated until the frustration builds up to where he ends up getting beat. Now, halfway through this section of the match, we see Lana backstage consoling Lashley, who is just like, out of breath. He's not happy with what happened. She's like, if I was out there, and she's just trying to plead with him to show that, hey, you need me out there. Yes, I might be a distraction, but I keep you cool, calm, and collected while you're in a match. But Carrillo tries to fight back as he's getting beat down. Super kick, 2 count. Carrillo kicks to Garza with a Hurricane Rana, frog splash. Hurricane Rana, pop kick, kick. 2 count. Carrillo moonsault block. Garza gets a 2 count. Garza gets a camel clutch on, but Carrillo is trying to get out of it. Garza turns it into a pendulum stretch, which is absolutely fucking crazy. Carrillo tries to counter. Garza is getting frustrated. Many kickouts. Middle rope moonsault. Garza gets a 2 count. Garza goes for the wing clipper. Carrillo stops that and rolls through for the 1, 2, 3. Is Angel Garza buried after this? Hell no. He let his frustration get the better of him, and his cousin outsmarted him. It happens in professional wrestling all the fucking time. Having somebody look at Kofi Kingston. What did Kofi Kingston do last year, right before the Elimination Chamber, when he got put in Mustafa Ali's spot? He started the gauntlet match. He went all the way to the next to last person and got some lucky wins on some people, even got killed by Eric Rowan. So people saying that Angel Garza is buried, you're an idiot. Angel Garza is not buried. Angel Garza will not be buried. Like I said, if he came out and was like, yeah, I got this, my cousin's dead, and he came out there, tried to pick his cousin up, his cousin's playing possum, and he rolls him up 1, 2, 3, I'm with you. Yes, he's buried, he's dead, he's not coming back. He lost a competitive match and got outsmarted. It's Wrestling 101. Give me a fucking break. Yes, eventually, this group is probably going to be buried 6 feet under, but for now, they are a heel faction getting outsmarted by babyfaces. It happens all the fucking time. Austin Theory was the next guy. Would it have made sense for Angel Garza and Austin Theory to face one-on-one? Hell no. So, you had to have Angel Garza lose. He lost by sheer dumb luck in his own frustration. That is why he lost. He got outsmarted, and in his own frustration got the better of him. Theory comes in. We go to break. We have it was a DQ, and this was interesting because AJ Styles has done a commercial for DQ. Well, apparently, a bunch of like AJ Styles fans, like family of AJ Styles fans, who are enjoying some DQ. This is a couple months ago because there's no way this got taped recently. But he's talking about this is like, they don't know that I'm here to meet them and everything. And he breaks through a window and breaks through a wall to surprise them. That was the commercial we got. So it was kind of, you know, foreshadowing what was going to happen later on. But Theory's in. After the quick break, we see Theory is just destroying Carrillo. Theory is all over him. Carrillo is getting back up into, but caught out in midair with a, I think it was a jumping knee. Theory with a superplex, but Carrillo rolls up, like he hits a superplex. There's a lot more in this match. I kind of turned my head down for a minute because I was trying to take some notes from previous in the match. But he hits a superplex, but Carrillo gets his legs up as Theory's legs are still up, and he wraps him up. 1, 2, 3. Austin Theory outsmarted by Humberto Carrillo. Is Austin Theory at this time buried? No. You don't have to win every match. And having these guys lose, not because, oh, they're terrible and they're getting buried. No, it's they're getting outsmarted. And by the way, yes, Austin Theory versus this next man would be a dream match for a lot of people. AJ Styles comes out. AJ Styles is a heel right now. AJ Styles, and then they're like, oh, well, AJ Styles comes to pick the bones. It wasn't picking the bones. Picking the bones is AJ Styles comes in, hits one move, and wins the match. That's not what happened here. Yes, we went to commercial break. We came back. And Carrillo is fighting AJ Styles. He gets his second win, but AJ is getting the best of him, gets a 2 count. AJ has an abdominal stretch on Carrillo, and he's stretching him out. AJ attacks the left leg. You know where this is going. He has the calf crusher and wants to make this guy pay. After everything that happened between WrestleMania and the Boneyard match and now, AJ Styles has had that much time to sit there and just stew and seethe and get his frustration out. His boys got fired a couple weeks ago, and here he is back, getting one opportunity to go to Money in the Bank and compete for the Money in the Bank briefcase in the most unique Money in the Bank ladder match you will ever see. If you haven't got tired of that already, I don't know what to fucking tell you. DDT by Carrillo, then an insecurity to Styles. Carrillo gets Styles down inside cradle, but gets a very, very 2.8 count. Pump handle, gutbuster into a calf crusher. Carrillo taps, and AJ wins. AJ Styles moves on to Money in the Bank. It's kind of convenient how we didn't know who was going to be in the gauntlet match. We didn't know how many were going to be in the gauntlet match, and we didn't know AJ Styles was going to be in the gauntlet match unless you listen to PWI or in one of those other dirt sheets that they knew that he was going to be there this week. And yes, this is not live. This was taped last week, I believe it was. So AJ wins, takes the mic. He's like, I'm not a zombie. I'm not a ghost. I'm not dead. I'm alive. Yes, I got buried at WrestleMania, but who cares? I'm here now. I have the opportunity for the most unique Money in the Bank briefcase, Money in the Bank ladder match ever. Where the risk is worth the reward, and I will do whatever I have to. I have to throw Aleister Black or Rey Mysterio or anyone else over the top of the building to get what I want. I will do it. And when it's all said and done, and I win Money in the Bank, Mr. Money in the Bank will be phenomenal. And that was that. So, WWE, I thought this was just going to be a thing they did last week for Triple H. But it wasn't. WWE has figured a way to put in classic footage without showing us full-length matches. Let's do top 10s every week. Last week was the top 10 Triple H's moments. This week, and oh boy, this week's number one I have some words with later. This week was Money in the Bank top 10 because Money in the Bank is this Sunday. Unlike last week, I didn't write them down exactly what it was. There was Seth Rollins and I think it was Seth Rollins. No, it was Finn Balor and Andrade doing a powerbomb, a sunset powerbomb off the ladder. Brock Lesnar doing what he did last year, winning it by letting Mustafa Ali just sit there, waiting for Brock Lesnar to come down to the ring while he's standing with the briefcase above him on the ladder. Really made the guy look like a geek. Now, I'm just going to say now, number one, as usual, and as should be, and it has been since 2015, was Seth Rollins cash-in at WrestleMania 35, beating Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Before that, the number one, of course, was Edge versus Cena. Edge cashing in the first ever Money in the Bank briefcase and winning at New Year's Revolution 2006. But WWE likes to rewrite history. Narrative they have for Seth Rollins right now is that he beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania in the main event in 2015. That is half true. Yes, he beat Brock Lesnar in the match, but he didn't pin Brock Lesnar. The footage they showed was Seth Rollins running down to the ring as he did in 2015, and he went to curb stomp Brock Lesnar. The only problem is, if I am correct and memory serves me correct, during that match, there was a third guy. There was Roman Reigns. If I'm correct, what really happened was Seth Rollins went to curb stomp Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar caught him, went to hit an F5. Roman Reigns speared Brock Lesnar. Seth Rollins hit a curb stomp on Roman Reigns and pinned Roman Reigns. What did WWE show tonight in that number one spot? They showed all these other ones in like packages of 3 or 4 or something. We get to the number one spot towards the end of the show, and they show Seth running down, him hitting a curb stomp on Brock Lesnar. That must have been filtered in from last year. And then it goes to black screen, and you hear ding, 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 ding. Seth Rollins is your WWE champion. So WWE has this thing where they have told talent that if you don't want to work during this pandemic fear-mongering bullshit, you don't have to. We won't hold it against you. Yet, when their perceived biggest star, Roman Reigns, tells them the day of WrestleMania's taping that, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I am out. I'm going to sit home. I'm going to keep myself healthy because I have an autoimmune disease that if I catch this shit, I'm most likely going to fucking die. So what has WWE done? They have scrubbed his name from the scripts. They have written him out of TV. He is not allowed to be talked about. They even took the moment for Seth Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank in 2015 at WrestleMania 31. They took Roman Reigns out of that to make it look like it was Seth Rollins cashing in on Brock Lesnar and Brock Lesnar alone. What makes that moment so fucking special is that 1, it happened at WrestleMania. 2, it happened during a match, something that has never happened before or since. And 3, the fact that Seth Rollins won the match. Taking Roman Reigns and scrubbing him from that moment just takes away from that moment completely. That moment was special for those 3 reasons. The fact that it happened at WrestleMania, it happened during a match, making the match a triple threat match, and the fact that Seth Rollins won in shocking fashion. That's what makes it special. And the fact that he didn't pin Brock Lesnar that night. He pinned Roman Reigns. He didn't pin Brock Lesnar until last year. Not once, but twice. But yet, WWE is going to do what they can to make it look like, to write the history books the way they want it to be written. Roman Reigns doesn't want to be here right now? Fine. Roman Reigns isn't going to be shown or talked about from here until he comes back, wherever that's going to be. So basically, Roman Reigns has been blacklisted by his own fucking company. If I'm in his position, fuck this company. I'll go somewhere else because that's how they want to perceive me. That's how they want to treat me. Fuck them. I'm sorry, that's just wrong. That is absolutely wrong. I'm not a big Roman Reigns mark like some people are, but I know my history, and that's not how that happened. Now, the Seth Rollins interview with, I believe, Charlie Caruso, I missed half of it because I was watching on my phone, taking my notes on my phone as well, and the thing just started doing the swirl, 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 swirl motion. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But he did call Drew a warrior, but not a leader. I am, and I do, and how I am, and how do I promote my destiny? Sacrificing for the greater good, and that's all I got before it's cut out of me. Seth Rollins just shows you how he can do a good promo. I'm sure it was a really good promo. Money in the Bank's coming up. Again, the only reason Seth Rollins is in this position is because they have nobody else. Kevin Owens is out with a knee injury, or an ankle injury, something like that. Jinder Mahal is going to be the next person in line, and that's going to suck. AJ Styles is back. I guess they could do AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre, which I wouldn't mind. Aleister Black's not ready yet. Rey Mysterio I could see too, but they don't want to do babyface versus babyface. So, literally, who do they have left? If Seth Rollins wasn't in this position, Seth Rollins would be in Money in the Bank. Who do they have? Kevin's out. Brock's not coming back anytime soon. Rey Mysterio's in the Money in the Bank. Buddy Murphy's nowhere close to being ready for a title match. Aleister Black's not ready for a title match. Andrade's, Andrade's not there. He's the United States champion. Neither is Garza or Austin Theory. They have nobody else. Shane Thorne and Vink, and something Vink, are backstage with MVP. And they pretty much say, wonder how it's going to feel for those two to lose to us. Pretty much what they say. They walk back, and he's like, that's what I'm talking about. So apparently, Edge and Randy Orton are going to have either a match or a confrontation next week. So I guess WrestleMania was not the end of their feud. And it's like, they promoted it as if Edge is going to be looking for Orton, even though Edge beat Orton soundly and handily at WrestleMania. Why, oh why, is Edge going to be looking for Randy Orton? Can someone explain that one to me? Shane Thorne and his partner versus the Two Fly Crew, which is the name of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. This was disappointing for the fact that Cedric Alexander and Ricochet just formed a tag team 3 or 4 weeks ago. They've been beating people, lesser known talent, the enhancement talent. So an enhancement talent wants to face them again to beat them. What usually happens? The enhancement talent still loses. They apparently teamed up with MVP, but MVP, as far as I could tell, was not at ringside. Where was MVP at? But this was a squash match. The only problem is the wrong team got squashed. Yes. Fink and Thorne beat Cedric Alexander and Ricochet. Why? Why did you have this team who has been jobbing out to every team that they have faced, even lost to Cedric Alexander and Ricochet in dominant fashion like 2 or 3 weeks ago? And here they are winning a match that they should not be winning. What the fuck is going on? People say Austin Theory and Angel Garza got buried tonight. They look like WrestleMania headliners compared to what happened with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. This was pathetic. Two guys who are extremely talented need something in this company, or WWE is looking to release people. Those are two prime candidates to say, you know what, give me my walking papers, I don't want to be here anymore. What the fuck was this? So Cedric Alexander and Ricochet lose to enhancement talent. Am I watching Monday Night Raw? Am I watching WCW? Can someone explain this to me? Can someone literally explain to me why two enhancement talents who, yeah, Shane Thorne has been on NXT in a higher capacity when Nick Miller was still around and they were the Mighty and TM61. But he has been nothing but an enhancement talent, jobber to the bigger stars of NXT and on Monday Night Raw recently. Why are these two going out there and getting a win against a team that, if you want us to take seriously, need fucking wins? No, you don't have to win every match. But when you're facing off, I mean, hell, they lost to the Viking Raiders a couple weeks ago, but that should happen because the Viking Raiders or a more established tag team who should be beating a new formed tag team in Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Isn't it kind of funny how these guys came up with a new tag team name just last week, and here they are losing to a bunch of enhancement talents? Wow, I just can't even with this company sometimes. This was just so bad. So we go from one tag team match to another tag team match with a predictable outcome because WWE cannot go and give us a number one contenders match. Yes, I know there's only one team pretty much that even is close to being contenders because the AOP are out of commission right now. The Viking Raiders took on the Street Profits. Who do you think was going to win this match? Who did you think was going to win this match? Were the Viking Raiders going to lose? Then how would they get a tag team title opportunity? I miss the days when we would have number one contenders matches. They gave us Money in the Bank qualifiers, even gave us a last chance at gauntlet match. But here we are with the Street Profits giving the Viking Raiders one hell of a match. I'm not going to say anything bad about the match overall. It was a hell of a match. But to have the Viking Raiders come in and beat the tag team champions as the only viable way for them to get into a tag team title match on Sunday, which has not been announced yet, but it's only Monday night. I can fully tell by the time we get to Sunday that we're going to have that match announced. Hell, it could be announced by the time I'm done with this recording. Now, before the match, the Profits get the mics, and they're like, "This is where we like this PC. The history here before us is huge. This is where we met. We broke bread. We became brothers. Where we came up and became the Street Profits together. But ever since the Viking Raiders came to WWE and signed those contracts, we have been chasing them. Tonight, we bring it to the Raiders, and we want the smoke." So this was a hell of a match. I can't go really into it because I do have notes here, but it's just my notes, one, are terrible, and two, this match was just bonkers. You have the Viking Raiders going out there dominating most of the match. You have Dawkins and Ford doing everything they can to also get some dominant. Like, this one was a back and forth affair. Either team could have won this one, but in the end, Ford tags in. They get a couple double teams that fail. Back elbow Profits. The springboard back elbow to both Profits. They're both down. Raiders take over. Raiders making tags. Ford gets out of a Thor's hammer as Dawkins spears, I believe it was Hansen. Oh, Rowe. It was Rowe. He speared. DDT by Dawkins, tag, spinebuster, frog splash, as they called it, the changeover or something is what Tom Phillips called it. This should have been it. The frog splash from Ford takes out everybody. Dawkins is a legal man. He takes the pin. Rowe comes in and boom, knees it right in the face. God, that looked horrible. Rowe tags in. Thor's hammer. 1, 2, 3. And the Street Profits fall to the Viking Raiders. Why would you want to be a champion in WWE? Non-title matches, you lose. Even though, yes, a champion should not be losing clean. If a babyface champion, by the way, if a babyface champion gets the rug pulled out from underneath them because a heel cheated, like, brass knucks or a poke in the eye or a low blow when the ref's not looking and they get pinned, that's fine because it doesn't hurt the champions. Having them lose clean makes no sense. Yes, I don't even know if the Viking Raiders are heel or babyface. Sometimes they're heel, sometimes they're babyface. I couldn't tell you. Why would you ever want to be a champion in WWE, as I said? And then we hear from Drew McIntyre about Murphy's comments, which I did forget to mention earlier. Drew says he's willing to sacrifice if the disciple is willing to sacrifice for the Messiah, and the Messiah is willing to sacrifice the disciple, then who am I to deny the people a slaughtering? We hear from the Raiders. They say this is dominance. We have respect for the Profits. Hell, we might even like them. But we are just better. The truth of the matter is, we are just the better team. Because the Raiders are on, and tonight, like every other night, we extinguished the smoke. And then we hear from Aleister Black, who heard what AJ Styles had to say earlier Obviously, he wants to know, how did it feel to get buried 6 feet under? How did it feel to be like locked, like just stuck in that grave with all the maggots and everything? But one thing it didn't do, it didn't make him humble, because you're talking about throwing me off the side of a building. All I know is, if you get that to happen, if you somehow manage to do that, you better pray I don't get back up. Because if I get back up and I win Money in the Bank, you will wish you were buried further than 6 feet. And I know I butchered these, but hey, I'm giving you my interpretations. Then we hear from Mysterio, hyping Money in the Bank in the same spiel that we've heard all night. This is the most unique match, Money in the Bank match we have ever seen, and the risk is worth the reward. That was it, other than him saying he doesn't know how many title opportunities he has left. There was more behind him in his career than there was in front of him, and nothing else more you can say. God, when they want to give you, it's just like anybody out there giving you a slogan, like, hey, they'll say it like you every time, or like, it's just so, how many times we have to hear? And by the way, we'll hear it again on Friday for 2 fucking hours straight. The most unique Money in the Bank ladder match you have ever seen, with the risk being worth the reward. Holy shit, man, just, ugh. Then we go to more nauseating bullshit because Charlotte's here. Charlotte is the NXT Women's Champion. Charlotte Flair should not be on Monday Night Raw anymore, but here she is on Monday Night Raw, ruining our Monday. Now, this was a little offensive to anybody who is a worker on the quote-unquote front lines of this pandemic crap that we're going through. Charlotte Flair says she is the hardest working woman in any, not just wrestling, not just sports, any industry. Charlotte, I'm pretty sure doctors, nurses, care workers, and anybody else having to deal with this stuff that's going on would like to have a word with you. Hardest working woman in any industry? Give me a fucking break, woman. You are the most entitled woman in in any industry. I don't think I've seen as much bad entitlement as I have with Charlotte Flair. She's just shooting her mouth off about Io Shirai and everything else. Which, by the way, Charlotte Flair is going to leave the women's division of NXT in worse ruin than any other woman before her or after her. And I hope WWE feels the women's division in NXT was worth it, because the ratings have come in, and Charlotte Flair was on NXT past week, wrestling a match. Guess what? The ratings fell still. So their little plan for Charlotte Flair to be the savior for the ratings of NXT is falling flat on its face. They're so desperate that they're putting 2 title matches on NXT this coming Wednesday. The only reason it's not 4 is because Keith Lee already defended his title 2 weeks ago, and Pete Dunne's still over in the UK, and they had those titles defended 2 weeks ago, if I'm correct as well. Liv Morgan makes her presence known. This has relevance because back on SmackDown, when both women were on SmackDown, right after the Superstar Shakeup or somewhere in between there, Liv Morgan had a match with Charlotte Flair. Charlotte beat Liv Morgan. After that match, Charlotte grabbed a microphone and said, "Charlotte's right, and when I return, I'm going to be real." And that was the last time we saw pink-haired Liv Morgan with her Riot Squad attire. She was gone until the Lashley and Lana wedding, where they did the lesbian angle that they had absolutely zero plans for and was just there to pop the crowd. She was like, "Do you remember me? Do you know who I am?" Because I don't know who I am, which I don't know where this is going. I honestly don't care who Liv Morgan is. I don't really give a shit. Bags on the fact that Charlotte Flair was born with a silver spoon in her mouth, and she had her daddy help her through her career from the start. Of course, Charlotte Flair was proud of this, because why wouldn't she be proud of it? It's the only thing that makes her relevant is the fact that she's Ric Flair's daughter, and every achievement she has gotten from the start is because she's Ric Flair's daughter. If anybody wants to argue, you're out of your fucking mind. She's Ric Flair's daughter. That's all she's ever going to be known for because she's Ric Flair's fucking daughter. Her talent is sure not where they think where it is. She's got some talent because Ric Flair had, let's see. She has some talent because she's not like David Flair, who has zero talent and did nothing in WWE other than get his ass kicked by The Undertaker during that feud for WrestleMania, 17? Anyway, Liv wants a match, so that's what we get. Before we get to that match, WWE is 100% trying to push Jinder Mahal. Earlier today, WWE put out a tweet. Who do you think would win in this dream match? Drew McIntyre or Jinder Mahal? The only two people that is a dream match for is Vince McMahon and Jinder Mahal. Nobody missed the failure Raja. Nobody cares about the failure Raja. And Drew McIntyre, you could bring somebody from NXT that would do a better job at hanging with Drew McIntyre than Jinder Mahal. Drew McIntyre would be risking a back injury for carrying this piece of shit on his back through a match or 2 or 3. The fact that WWE is trying to do what they should have did in 2017 to build Jinder Mahal up. Guess what, WWE? It's too late. Nobody cares about Jinder Mahal. The modern day failure Raja, he will always be. So we get this match. Charlotte Flair beats the hell out of Liv Morgan for the first half of this match. We go to commercial break. Morgan gets some offense in as we come back. But after a while, a powerbomb ends that. Charlotte with some chops to Morgan. Morgan gets out. Morgan gets caught into a Boston Crab, but gets to the rope. She goes for the Oblivion. Her middle rope flatliner. Charlotte catches that, rolls her around, puts her in the figure 8. Liv Morgan's like screaming no as she taps out. Charlotte Flair wins. Who didn't see that coming? I already talked about the number one moment of Seth cashing in, which of course will always be the number one moment in Money in the Bank history. Whenever WWE ever does a top 10 for Money in the Bank, the first 2 will always be Edge at number 2 and Seth Rollins at number 1. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's nothing will ever top Seth Rollins cashing in the main event of WrestleMania to beat Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Nothing will beat that. So we go to the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Murphy. This was a massacre from the beginning. Yes, Murphy got a little bit of offense in halfway through the match, but Drew McIntyre set an example and made an example of Murphy. Just beat the hell out of him on the outside. Rollins is up on the stage looking on. Murphy gets a little life and then turns his back tonight. Then he gets back up. Meteor for a 2 count. As Seth slowly stalks the ring. Then Murphy's back to getting killed. Murphy gets back in, gets a 1 count. Claymore, match is over. 1, 2, 3. Nothing else you can say about that. It's Murphy gets killed. Murphy gets a little bit of offense. He's getting killed again. Little bit of offense. Claymore, 1, 2, 3. Match is over. So after the match, Drew McIntyre wants Seth Rollins to fight him now. Seth gets to the stairs. He stares him down. Drew's getting on his knees like, I dare you to fight me. Come in here. Let's do this now. He's on his knees like, come on. He gets up. Seth walks away. You figure, okay, that's it, match show over. But no! Drew McIntyre does the dumbest thing of turning his back on Seth Rollins while the camera's still rolling. He does that. Seth gets to the ring, super kicks him, and then says, this isn't about you, Drew. This isn't even about me. This is bigger than both of us. This is bigger than... And then he sees the title, goes over, grabs it, looks to do the stomp to Drew McIntyre. Drew stops that. Glasgow kiss. Goes for the Claymore. Seth Rollins is out of here and the show goes off the air. So that was Monday Night Raw. The fact that these are still going on and we don't have crowds, it's getting very painful. Very, very painful, but I'm doing this because I gotta have something to do. And hopefully things can get a lot better when we get crowds. I doubt it. This is WWE. I do say, as we said before, the biggest things that's going on here that need to stay when the crowds are back is the promo game. The promo game for just about everybody is a level high. It's like 3 or 4 or 5 levels higher than it was before WWE lost their crowds. So we're 6 nights away from Money in the Bank. Will it be good? I doubt it. I can't wait to see what they do with the men's and women's 12 people fighting at the same time with probably a couple referees or security people making sure nobody gets killed or gets severely injured. Medical people on site, I'm sure. But we still have to get to AEW on Wednesday, Friday for SmackDown, and then Unscripted Sunday morning, and then Money in the Bank Sunday night. But that is your Monday Night Raw review. It was an show. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, find me on Twitter at The France Club, find me on twitch.tv/The France Club, and I will see you guys Wednesday for the first live episode of AEW in about a month. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later. Hopefully we'll have some kind of a crowd at AEW on Wednesday.